Very good evening, everybody. If you can hear me well, loud and clear, please give me a yes in the chat box, please. Everyone, very good. Thank you. So, everybody, I hope you have been following the course so far. P1 revision is what I have asked everybody to make as their priority, everybody to make as their first target. Side by side, the pre-scene was also introduced. The pre-scene was a very important part, and I hope everybody has gone through it very carefully. In the last class, I started with and I introduced the I can statements, which all of you have access to now. Plus, I gave you a pre-scene quiz. A quiz based on the pre-scene, testing some parts of your P1 knowledge as well, which I had asked everybody to solve and email to me by the end of Monday, I believe. I think that was the timeline. I received a lot of submissions today as well, but I've asked the team to happily evaluate all of them. So everybody who has solved and submitted their pre-scene quiz based on personal best would have received an overall evaluation from us, telling you what we like, what we don't like in your quiz, plus a suggested answers document would have been sent to you. Correct, everybody? Yes or no in the chat box, please. Those who have written and submitted it would have received a feedback. So now your job is not just, okay, I received the feedback, ignore it. No, your job is to very carefully rather, go through the feedback, go through the suggested answers document. It's very important, to ensure that when you receive that suggestion, you very carefully go through the suggested answers document as well, because it will tell you what we like, what we don't like, what you actually needed to do. And it will be a great step into your next learning process, which is starting with mock questions. And today is that day. Today is the day we start with mock questions, because everything is fine, but until and unless mock questions are something that we practice, until and unless mocks are something that we work on, it is not possible to have an actual it's not possible to have a great learning process. It's not possible to actually see if we are ready for the exam. So what I'm going to do in today's class is introduce mock questions for you, introduce, or rather tell you how mock questions work, how mock questions should be answered. Please give me a moment. I'm helping a student get into class. Sorry, coming back. So these mock questions are something which we want you to focus on in terms of how the actual exam is going to look like. So what we want to prove with these mock questions is, if you do these questions with us, you're getting ready for the exam. If you work on these questions with us, you're getting ready for the exam. If you follow these questions with us, and if you submit these assignments, you're getting ready for the exam. Because up until now, in these quizzes, you got evaluations. Now you'll start getting marks, which means every single student's submission will be individually marked, checked, and corrected. Will be marked, checked, and evaluated. This is something which we will give 100% commitment to, but it will be something that you will have to also invest your time in terms of the assignment. I give you the assignment, you don't solve it. I come to class, I talk about it, I discuss about it. It's not going to add any value. Rather, I come to class, I explain it to you, I give you the homework, And then when you solve it, we mark it, check it, correct it. And then when we evaluate it for you, then when we create a full evaluation for you, it will make a whole lot of sense. So what we want to focus on is retrospective and corrective learning. You make the mistakes, I correct them for you, but then you improve on them. So can everybody see both sides of my screen? Please give me a yes in the chat box. This is the first question that I am discussing with you. That is why it's going to be done in a Word file, and you are going to be writing it in a Word file, same like the quiz that you wrote. Question number 2 onwards, I will explain that to you as well. It will be on my self-timed online portal, exactly like the exam, but that's coming at a later stage. Right now, I only have to worry about question number 1, which I'm going to teach you, which I'm going to help you learn, which I'm going to help you focus on the steps and help you focus on the path. So this is your first question. I will give you 6 steps to follow. 6 steps is what you follow for any question. Whatever question the OCS exam throws at you, we don't care. There are 6 easy steps that we always follow. What are these 6 steps? Let's learn them together. First being, be professional, which means you are the SEMA finance officer. It is your job to ensure that the examiner understands what you are writing. You just can't be that you wrote something and okay, examiner, now you figure it out, whatever this means. It has to be what I've been mentioning from class 1. Clear, easy, simple explanations. Very easy, simple, straightforward explanations. Simple English. That is your first step to remember for any mock question. Forget everything else. Your answer has to be simple and easy. You may know everything, but if you don't know how to represent it, you are not going to get any marks. So first thing is, always whatever you write should be simple, easy, straightforward. Everybody's okay with step number 1? Please give me a yes in the chat box. Everyone, these are important to understand. At a later stage, I don't want you to, okay, should I start with step 2, step 5, step 4? No. 1 to 6, slowly, steadily is what we follow. Now to step number 2. Why are you writing the report? What is the purpose of the report? So step number 2 is, why are you writing the report? You are writing the report because they have asked you a question. So step number 2 is, I start reading the question. So step number 1 and 2 combined, I call as the planning stage, because this is where you start to read the question and actually start to figure out what they are asking you. So for the planning stage, I'm going to ask all of you to take at least 8 to 10 minutes. By now, I am sure everybody has figured out if you are fast at typing, good at typing, not good at typing, because I made you practice this in my pre-scene quiz itself. So with that, you should now gauge, okay, I'm good at typing, so I'll give more time to reading, which means 10 minutes given to reading. If you feel that your typing is slow, okay, 8 minutes given to reading, rest of the time to typing. So planning stage varies, 8 to 10. Maximum, if it's a little bit of challenging question, you can take 12 minutes for the planning stage. This is where you read the question from the top to the bottom, understanding what they are asking from you. So now let's start to read the question on the right-hand side. So you have been invited. This question is exactly like the exam. So you have been invited to attend a combined marketing and production department meeting. At the meeting, Akida Agu says, our decision to undertake a comprehensive marketing campaign to attract new gyms and supermarket partners to sell our protein powders has been enormous success. So they're telling you that you have had a new marketing campaign and it has been a huge success. Especially our new range of plant-based ready-to-drink protein drinks. So new range of plant-based ready-to-drink protein drinks was launched and it was a huge success. We are one of the highly rated protein supplement manufacturers, and now government support has been achieved, so sales has increased. While I'm reading the question, remember you have 8 to 10 minutes, which is a lot of time. So read slowly, read carefully, not reading again and again and again and again the same thing. You don't have the time for that. Read it once, read it very simply, read it very slowly, and keep talking to yourself like I'm talking to myself. So demand has increased. The issue is that we are hitting regular maximum production capacity. Directors are at their last meeting decided to purchase new machinery. I have a question which says, we get reading time? No, you get 45 minutes. I am teaching you how to divide those 45 minutes. Out of the 45 minutes, the first 8 to 10 minutes are for planning. You can call that your reading time. So continuing, Ben Morales, head of production, says, yes, we are all looking forward to this increase in the production capacity. As you know, we are importing this machinery from a supplier in free land. Okay, so machine is being imported. The machinery will cost $1 million. In total, half paid right now, half after 2 months. Fine, machinery being imported. It will cost us C dollars 10,000 to engage engineers to install this machine. The machine is expected to be fully operational from 1st November, which means it is operational and is guaranteed by the supplier for 3 years, but it is likely to last 8 years. Fine, machinery being is going to be imported or is imported, which is now operational, and 10,000 is going to be for installing. 10,000 was for installing the machinery. The next day, Julia Matthews, head of finance, sends you the following email. So Julia to finance officer, which means to you. Up until now, they gave you extra information. Remember, you are still reading the question. You are on step number 2. You've not started to write anything. You're not writing anything. You're not, nothing, no typing yet. You're only reading. Purchase of machinery. Our production director was just telling me about the new machinery that is being imported and has asked me to let him know what expenditure relating to it can be capitalized. He's concerned that the flux. So here there should be a light bulb in your head. For those who have started to study, I'm just giving you a hint of what this exam is. So for those who started to study F1, who started looking at F1, who started looking at the ICANN statements, will have a light bulb in their mind straight away that, okay, this is F1, IAS 16 is what they are talking about. I'm just giving you a hint. This first question is majority P1, which is coming up. But I'm just giving you a hint of how this exam will also throw light into E1 and F1 as well. So he's concerned with the fluctuating F dollar to C dollar exchange rate will mean that the depreciation charge will also fluctuate. I'm also talking to Ben Morales after meeting yesterday. Just give me a moment. I need to reshare my screen for some reason. Okay, can you guys see my screen? Sorry. Yes, I think it should be visible. Oh yes, coming back. So yes, I was also talking to Ben Morales after the meeting yesterday and mentioned to him that due to expansion of the production line, we will need to flex the existing budget. So now when you hear these words, straight away a P1 pop-up should go into your mind. Okay, flex budgeting. I have studied this concept in P1. He asked me for further information on this. Please prepare content for the briefing notes that I can send Jack. See, when you are reading the question in step number 2, you are trying to figure out the task. You read the entire question from the top to the bottom Very carefully, you are reading the entire question, not missing out on anything at all. Everything you read, but you are trying to figure out the task. Always remember, the task is where the marks are. So the task is what you are trying to answer. The task is what you want to provide an answer for. So always keep your eye out for the task, because the task is where the marks are. Now, how do you identify the task? Always in the question, you'll see something like this, subtask 50% or 60% or 40%. It could be anything. It would be something like this. Just 2-3 lines above it is the task. Or they will clearly say, prepare briefing notes relating to this, which means this is your task and this is what you have to answer. Everything that they've given above it is supporting material that will help you write the answer. But this is the actual question. This is the actual task. This is where the marks are. So this is what you have to answer. As simple as that. So let's read. It says, what expenditure can be included as part of the new machinery asset cost? Also tell me how the fluctuating F dollar to C dollar exchange rate will affect how we record the purchase of this transaction. Now, this is 50%. A lot of you will ask me, what is this 50%? This is very, very important to understand. Everybody, please pay attention. So your exam is marked out of 100 marks. You have 4 questions. Total is 100 marks. And at the end, your score is weighted depending on a weightage that SEMA decides. And then you need to get a final score of, out of 150, you need to get an 80 to pass. First exam for every student is marked out of 100 marks. And then a weightage is multiplied to your score out of 100. The weightage is something which SEMA decides. We don't know. It's arbitrary. And then your final score comes out of 150, where you need to score 80. That is why it's called scaled score, not absolute score. So this weightage is something that we don't know. So my suggestion is, if we don't know it, let's not care about it. Let's completely negate it. Let's completely remove it. I will only focus on what I can care about, what I can control. The first thing being 100 marks. 100 marks is what everybody is first being scored out of, right? So let's work towards this 100, and automatically I will do my scale. I'll get my scale score. So all of my students always remember, exam is out of 100 marks. And there are 4 questions, 45 minutes each. So please tell me in the chat box, what is the value of each question? 100 total. 4 questions is what you have. What is the value for each question, everyone? In the chat box. I don't think this is any rocket science. 100 total. 4 questions. So 25 marks per question, right? Great. So this entire question number 1 that you see on screen is worth 25 marks, correct? Now they're telling you that this first task is worth 50% of those marks. So entire question number 1 is 25. Task 1 inside of question 1 is 50% of those marks. So what is the value of task 1? Please tell me in the chat box. 25 total. Task 1, 50% of that 25. So 50 upon 100 into 25 is 12.5 marks. Very good. 12.5 for task 1, 12.5 for task 2. Now this 50% can be 60%, 70%, 30%, 40%. I don't care. My calculation remains the same. If it's 40%, it will be 40 upon 100 into 25. It's 30%, 30 upon 100 into 25. You are trying to figure out the mark allocation for each task. Everybody is very, very clear with this. Please give me a yes in the chat box. Thank you. Now, why are we understanding this mark allocation? Very simple. Because Seema says that one well-explained point, one well-explained argument gives you 2 marks. So if I need to score 12.5 marks for the first task, please tell me how many points I will have to write. Everybody, 1 point, one well-explained point is 2 marks. Total allocation was 12.5, correct? 12.5 marks. To get those 12.5 marks, I will have to write roughly 6 points. So now all of you know that I need to write 6 points for this first task if I want to score well. And when I say points, I don't mean you have to write 1, 2, 3. Absolutely not. That is not what I want. That is not what I require. What I'm telling you is this is the ballpark figure for you. Okay, 6 points. So 6 good arguments I will have to provide them. 6 small paragraphs I will have to give them. So this is a ballpark figure which now you keep in your mind. So a lot of you were asking me how much to write. So there you go. This much you have to write. So 6 points for task 1, 6 points for task 2. All of this happens in the first 8, 10 or 12 minutes. Now it's your job to figure out it's easily possible. If you see, I started the class 15 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago. 10 minutes I did the intro, and in the rest 10 minutes I have been able to explain all of this. You don't have to do any explanation. You simply have to start reading and break it down. So it's very much possible, but the key is practice. This is your first 2 steps. Everybody's clear with this? Yes, in the chat box, please, everyone. Very, very clear with this. If you make a mistake here, you'll keep making mistakes ahead. If there is any question, put it in the chat box. So step number 1, you are the professional. You got to make it easy. Step number 2, I read the entire question, figure out the task, figure out the allocation for each task, figure out how many points I'm going to write for each task. All of this, a maximum of 12 minutes you can afford. Everybody's clear? Give me a final yes, please, and then I can begin. Thank you. Now to point number 3 or step number 3. Step number 3 is the title. The title gives you absolutely 0 marks, but it's good for presentation and it takes 10 seconds. So I recommend it. It's a good start to your answer. So over here, the task was what expenditure can be included and flexible budgeting. So I'm writing expenditure on new asset and flexed budgeting. So this becomes my quick title. You can put whatever title you want, but it should be relevant to the task. It takes 5 seconds. It gives you 0 marks. So don't waste time on it, but I recommend it as a good start. Clear, everybody? Yes, in the chat box, please. Step number 3. Simple as that. Okay, lovely. Step number 4 is the introduction, but I'm going to ask you to skip it. Why? Because the introduction gives you 0 marks. So I don't want you to waste any time on it. More for the management level, more for the strategic level. For the operational level, I'm asking to ignore the introduction. Introduction is pretty much where you tell them what your answer is going to include. But I feel in the operational level, you can straight away move to step number 5, which is the body of the report. Everybody's clear why I'm asking you to skip step number 4? Yes, in the chat box, please. Just want to be clear so there's no confusion. Thank you. Then to step number 5, the most important part. This is where all your marks are. This is the body. The body is where you have to answer the task. Now, I recommend breaking the task with simple subheadings. So what was the task? Please, everybody, give me the subheadings in the chat box, okay? The task is, what expenditure can be included as part of the new machinery asset cost? And then there is a full stop. Sentence completed. So what will be my first subheading, everybody? Please tell me in the chat box. Let's write expenditure to be included, right? This can be my subheading. You can write whatever subheading you want, but this is just something which I feel is comfortable. Under this, I will write whatever I want. I'm not giving you the answer naturally because I will make you write it. Then I will discuss it with you. So expenditure to be included. When you purchase a new asset, what expenditure can be included and what cannot be included? IAS 16, straight from your F1 studies, and it's there in my I can statement document as well. This is not the end. It says also, tell me how fluctuating F dollar to C dollar exchange rate will affect how we record the purchase and subsequent settlement of machinery transaction. This has nothing to do with your F1 syllabus. It's pure business acumen. Please tell me what will be the subheading here. The first subheading I did, expenditure to be included, and I wrote under it. What will be the subheading over here? Effect of exchange rate fluctuation. Simple, or rather effect of exchange rate fluctuation. It's simple business acumen. You don't need any chapter for this. When I discuss it with you, you will see that it's very simple business acumen, which is part of OCS exam. Read the question carefully and you'll automatically be able to give the answer. So both together. So both these things together is 50% of your marks. Remember, you have to write 6 points, correct? So you wrote 3 arguments for expenditure to be included and 2 to 3 arguments for exchange rate fluctuation. This together completed your 6 points and task number 1 is finished. Getting me, everybody, how I'm breaking down the task to write appropriately. Not like including 6 points for expenditure to be included and forgetting exchange rate fluctuation. You'll not get marks. Your 50%, your 12.5 is for both the things that they have asked you in task number 1. Are we clear with this, everybody? Yes, in the chat box, please. Everyone. Great. This is not the end. This is only task 1 completed. Task 2 is the effect on our budget of flexing it and why flexible budgeting is useful for us. So what's the subheading here, everybody? Please give me the subheading. Very good. Effect on our budget of flexing it. And so under this, I'll put my 3 arguments, 1, 2, 3. And then there was also one more thing. They said, and. So why flexible budgeting is useful for us? I prefer to always break it down so that it's easier. Under this also, I'll put 2, 3 arguments. Finished. Job done. This is how I break down my question. Focus on the task. Break down the task. Provide the answer. This is mock question writing. Everybody, are we clear with step number 5? Please give me a yes in the chat box. Thank you. Then comes step number 6, your final step, conclusion, where you only have to write 1 line. If you need anything else, please let me know. Finance officer. Finished. The only thing you focus on is the task. The task is where the marks are. You do anything else, but you don't write the task, you won't get the marks. It's as simple as that. You want the marks, answer the task. This is mock question writing. Simple as that. how much to write, where to write, what to write, how to break it down. I have explained all of that. Are we clear, everybody? Yes, in the chat box, please. All 5 steps understood. Okay. Now, one very important thing. A lot of you will feel that, okay, first question, I'm not able to answer, or I'm not able to do a very good job. You are here to learn. If you would be able to do a great job on question number 1, then you don't need this course. This course is created for gradual improvement, and we have 1 month with us. In the conclusion, only 2 lines, like I showed. Focus on the task. The task is where the marks are. It will come with time, it will come with practice, but you'll have to put that effort. So how is it going to work? Tomorrow, Wednesday, I need 45 minutes of your time. I know all of you are working. That is why I'm asking 45 minutes of your time. And I'm sure everybody can give me 45 minutes, because if we can't give 45 minutes for an exam which is coming in 1 month, then I think, it's not a very good commitment. Let me put it that way. And why do I need 45 minutes? Because I need you to write this answer. If you write just points, you get a big 0. You can't write one line points. I have been mentioning this from the beginning of the course. When you write a point, it has to be well explained, well substantiated, which you will see in my pre-scene quiz suggested answers document as well. For example, over here it says, is flexible budgeting useful? Why is flexible budgeting useful for us? So you just can't write it's useful for us because it will help us plan better. Full stop. Big 0. You need to expand on it. 2-3 lines. You need to tell me flexible budgeting for personal best will be very good, as it will help us look into the future. It will help us look into the future demand and will help us make better decisions. This, for a growing brand like Personal Best, will add value. This becomes one well explained point. You just can't write 1 line or 1 point and expect the examiner to give you 2 marks. It has to be a well explained point. Majority questions P1 focused, then we are moving into F1, then we are moving into E1. But yes, I will start to jumble everything up slowly because I have given enough time for revision. So I'm coming to the homework. So tomorrow there is no class. Our class is on Thursday. As it is Tuesday, Thursday. Our class is on Thursday. But tomorrow, the recording of this class will go up on the website. Under the recording of the class, same like the quiz, this first question will be attached as a Word file. Same like the quiz, download it. I've already discussed it with you. This is the first question. So I want you to self-time it. Give yourself 45 minutes. Self-time it, honestly. Don't keep a book open or whatever. I don't recommend that because it won't be a very good attempt. Honestly, 45 minutes, time it. Solve the answer in a Word file and email it to us by the end of Wednesday. Okay, so tomorrow when the recording of this class goes up, under the recording of the class, this question will be attached. It's the first question. Download it, solve it, email it to us by the end of Wednesday. Please remember, these are individually marked. If you submit them on Thursday, late Thursday, and then expect us to mark them for you, it will be very difficult and we will not be able to mark them. These are individually marked because I will be discussing it in class on Thursday. I will be showing you the corrections in class on Thursday. And then I will be giving you homework for the weekend. So slowly but steadily, you'll have to follow the course. Otherwise, you'll feel left behind, and then confidence will become an issue, anxiety, and all of that will start kicking in, which we don't want at this stage. So please remember, only 45 minutes I'm asking from you. Give yourself 45 minutes. Solve this question. I've already discussed it with you, given you great hints and tips. Don't keep any material open. Do it by yourself and email it to us. Thursday, my team will start marking it. In class, I will discuss it with you on Thursday, and then I will email it to you after the class. First, the discussion will happen in class, and then all the other emails and your corrections will be sent out to you, and all of that I will explain to you. But your first goal is to solve this question and get it back to us by the end of Wednesday. Doable, everybody? Please give me a yes in the chat box. I don't think I'm being unrealistic, so I hope everybody agrees with me on the deadline and the timeline, right? See, I understand all of you are human. So if something that happens which is out of your control and you're not able to meet the deadline, email us, involve us, tell us in advance that okay, I've started late, I'm struggling, this problem, that problem, and we are also human. We'll understand, we'll extend the deadlines. But if you take me and the course for granted, and then after 10 days you come back and tell me, I've not followed the course, I'm starting now, uh, I understand, but it's very important to ensure that you follow the course, try to meet the expectations, and automatically you'll develop the skills. There is never going to be a time that you feel 100% ready to take the mock or to take the exam. Take my word for it. I don't feel ready till today. But it happens with time, with practice, we overcome all the obstacles. And I've given you this question is discussed with you. Flexible budgeting. Okay, today take 10 minutes and take 10 minutes, revise flexible budgeting. Take 10 minutes more, revise IAS 16. Write the answer tomorrow, submit it, and then continue with your revision. Speed up with your revision. I have been talking about revision. Let's say my first class which I held was on the 27th of December, I believe. From then 2 weeks I have given for enough revision. For those who have started late, for those who have started late as well, at least 1 week I have given where you can complete majority of P1. So you'll have to pick up the pace. You'll have to give some little bit more commitment, and 100% you will start to feel part of the course. But that extra effort will have to come from your side. I'm ready to help you. If you're getting stuck somewhere, you need extra time, extra support, let me know. But meeting the deadline becomes your goal and commitment. Everybody's clear with me? Yes, in the chat box, please. And that will be all from me for today's class. Okay. I'm seeing you everybody on Thursday then, but with the mock question submitted end of Wednesday. I'm making myself very clear. Thursday, I want submissions, which my team will start marking. I discuss it with you and give you new homework for the weekend. Thank you, everybody. Speak to you soon. If you have any questions, any extra help that you need, simply email me, WhatsApp me. I will happily get back to you. Thank you.